Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show with the attorney Margaret W. Wong, who has been working on the immigration field for over 45 years. Can you imagine that? You were not even born, and she was already working for the immigration field, helping thousands of families every single year. And just to um, highlight that she started working with only one little desk, no secretary, and very, very few experience. And now she owns or she is the CEO of one of the major law firms in the United States of America, which every single month has hundreds and hundreds of approvals for applications that are sent to immigration, and also the group of attorneys or the team of attorneys in the law firm, they go to the court, they defend your case, they fight for your case. So if you need a good representation, you just need to call the phone number 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Attorney Margaret W. Wong, welcome. Thank you for having us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, and thank you.
Thank you so much. Awesome job that you do for all of the families that call the office and that go and have an appointment with you, trying to find a solution. And well, right now we are facing a kind of uncertainty or uncertainty regarding to this Stay in Mexico program. But I would like to start by asking if I am from Africa or some Middle Eastern country or Southeastern country, uh, can I would I be involved in this same situation if I try to cross through Mexico?
See, that's interesting because we have seen lately quite a few people who are from different countries, but not from Latino countries. And it seemed like some actually got parole to come in, and other also got in after 5 nights in jail. So I think the border policy have been changing like daily, weekly. It's luck. I saw another Ukrainian who came in, but Ukrainian have United for Ukrainian or something. So instead of waiting for the I-134, which is the Ukrainian situation, they just came illegally and they are paroled in. So who knows what the southern border is? But my advice has been just hold off a little bit, especially for Central America, because they have a CAMP program. Because there's a study that came out, more than 50-60% of people who came to America, they already have family here, but they just couldn't get a visa or they couldn't wait for the long line. That's why the CAMP programs from Central America is trying to help. All you have to do is Google the whole country of United States of America. Like in Cleveland, we have 3 locations. Atlanta, I think we have at least 2 or 3 locations. Nashville, 2 or 3 locations. You can go there with your ID, your work permit, or your receipt for asylum, or anything that you have. Then the not-for-profit people will help you connect with the American embassy in the 3 Central American countries for your family to come legally. Most of those legal parole people, they normally are children under 21, but also your step parents, your parents, grandparents. Try it because they may let you in. So it's safer than coming with a parole. I also have other like Venezuelans going to Mexico for 4 or 5 months, wait for opportunity to come, and also have like Colombians going to Mexico because of the change in government. El Salvador, upper middle class El Salvadorians, because they don't like the new people the country elected, they're also trying to come. But it doesn't mean just because rumor is that Biden is an easier president, but we should come. So, and sometimes I have people who actually have tourist visa, but they thought, oh, they're worried about denied entry at the airport, so they thought it was easier just to come at the border. So there's a lot of misunderstanding now on Title 42, on remain in Mexico, on coming as a parole, on coming illegally or coming legally on a parole. I just saw someone yesterday that came on a parole. I think it's from El Salvador or something for 1 year, and he didn't even come with a young child. So I'm like, did you tell them your story? No. Did you pay a bond? No. So did you come with a young child? No. So that's interesting that he got in. Actually, she got in through parole. So things are changing, and if you got in through parole, get that work permit, because parole people, normally they give you, in the olden days, they give you 3 days, 5 days, so it's not worth it, because the work permit is only good for as long as they gave you parole at the border. But nowadays, they give you parole, like I've seen some Cubans that get parole for 1 year, Cubans that get parole for 6 days. Then you can maybe re-enroll in a new parole program and get that work permit. So the southern border is changing a lot. But I really would like our listeners to know, just don't come illegally for now. Get them arrested, because the more unrest we create, we became the Trump people. That's what they're doing. They're doing the January 6th things. We are a land of the law. We couldn't just accept everybody, and then everybody say, oh, Biden is easy. Then it really ruins his presidency.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for your answer. And yes, people have a lot of concerns and hear a lot of ideas from people that made it in some weird ways, or hiring people illegally to cross the border, or they are just listening to the advice of someone who made it, but they don't know what your situation could be. So please just be aware of this advice from the attorney Margaret W. Wong. And before you make a decision, think about the risk that you are taking in order to try to come to the United States. If you need more information, just call the phone number 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Are we ready for the questions, Ms. Wong?
Yes, we are.
Okay, let's get started. The first one is, how many times can I extend my student visa? Thank you.
Okay, student visa don't need to be extended. Anytime you change schools, before or after your program expire, they automatically extend as long as you timely ask. So the first school that you are in now, you need the second school would ask blessing from the first school, and they will go through the Kentucky Center or wherever the Sabbath program is, and do that extension. So technically, you can extend 10 times. That means you change school 10 times. It doesn't matter, but make sure you're good. You get a letter of good standing. That means you're a student. That means you take 12 credit hours. If the school allows online, you can do online, but mostly they're not online.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And this person, I think there are some rumors or myths out there that you can only renew 2 or 3 times your student visa and not stay more than 8 years. But that's, according to what you are saying, that's fake then, right?
Right. A J1 maximum 7, there's a lot of cardiology fellows. You can do one more, but then you need special permission from ECFMG. That's a J1. M1, there's also a little difficulty because M1 is more for like specialized schools, like a flight schools M1, sometimes nursing schools, some are M1s, fashion design. But F1s, as long as you keep paying tuition, but of course you don't want to stay here 10, 15 years on a student visa, because most student visa, they go to school just to get some time, to get an H-1B, to get a tourist visa and stuff like that. But as long as you pay tuition, you can stay here 8 or 9 years on F1.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. Don't forget that you can call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Ketan Patel is asking the next question, Ms. Wong. Hello, madam. I want to know how much time does it take for I-601 waiver?
Depends. There are 2 types of 601 waiver. Maybe the ones you're talking about is 601A. 601A is taking about 2 years, sometimes 2.5 years. sometimes 1.5 years when you're 9 months. But if you're overseas and it's for your parents, appeal is taking 9 months to 1.5 years. A normal 601 is pretty fast. It's about a year and a half, maybe a year if the person's overseas and they're waiting overseas, because normally you either do a standalone 601 or do a 212 and 601. But if you're in America and the 601 is filed with adjustment of status, sometimes it's 3 or 4 months, sometimes it's a year. That's why you need to make sure when the 601 is pending, the 45 is pending. Don't let them deny your 45, and the 601 will be denied, but read English, because I've sometimes said, oh, my 601 is denied. And the only reason why it was denied because your 45 was denied. You have to pend on something. But if you're overseas, you don't need to pend.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And well, for this person that is asking about the 601 waiver, maybe you really need to talk to an attorney that will take care of your case. Waivers are not easy, Ms. Wong, and some people maybe just think that it is just one fact or two facts, but there's several stuff that people need to learn before they file a waiver. Is it right?
Yes, waivers are tough. There's whole law books talking on waivers. Yeah, waivers is interesting because even though there's non-immigrant waiver, there's an immigrant visa waiver. In Canada, it's doing the same thing now. We have, like, for example, I'm an American citizen. I have a DUI. Canada now is denying entry for people who have DUIs, for people who have serious criminal record or even light criminal records. So for Canadian citizens to come in, that's the same problem. So for Canadian citizen, we do NIV waivers, and that's also a 601. That's about 6 months to 9 months at the border. In the olden days, they only give you 1 year waiver. Now they give you a 5-year waiver. So that's another type of 601. There's a lot of NIV waiver, IV waivers, 45 pending waivers, appeals waivers. The appeal used to take longer, but now the appeals seem like shorter. So there's a lot of waivers are difficult because fraud waiver, you need spouse and parents, 10-year bar, like 42B, you can do parents, spouse, and children. So it depends who could be a qualifying relatives.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And don't forget, the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. And something interesting, Ms. Wong, that I keep hearing and hearing this same stuff is that people hire someone who can help them file the form, and then something happens, or there's a delay, or there's no answer from immigration, and then they get desperate because they don't have another option. Then they call these people, and these people say, well, I only can help you with filing the form or filling out the form and sending it, but I am not an attorney. And these 601 waivers are, is a paralegal allowed to file a 601 waiver?
One thing nice about immigration work, because 601 depends on what type. If it's a 42B, you need to file that in court. So you need a lawyer because otherwise it became unauthorized practice of law. But when it comes to filing paperwork with DOL, Department of Labor, and Homeland Security, CIS, or do a FOIA, you really don't need a lawyer. And you're right, a lot of non-lawyers, it's so much easier. You just fill out I-131, you fill out I-130. But being a lawyer, and I'm a pretty good lawyer, I think, that sometimes there are nuances, even I'm learning, than a new form. In the olden days, there's no computer, so you always make sure to find new form because they don't even tell you miss a form until 6 months later. Now everything is on computer, but still it's aggravated, So a lot of times I see like paralegals do an I-130, but the alien's already in America or the non-citizen's already in America. They could have done the 45 also, because then it saves them time, because 45 gives you advanced parole, gives you work permit, you can actually do it for free. But maybe a paralegal is very good and they know the difference, or maybe they don't. So instead of not being able, this is the most important thing in life. It's probably even more important who I marry, do I graduate from medical school or law school, because this is, until you really get the green card, you are nobody in America. So it's always better to really do your own research, including how to hire a lawyer, who to hire a lawyer, or how to hire a paralegal, who to hire a paralegal, a notario, because sometimes a paralegal and notary is even better than a lawyer is, or better than I am, because that's all they do. Like U visa, it used to be filed by a paralegal, but U visa became so difficult that now you sort of need a lawyer. So you're right. Sometimes it depends on that person also, because some of these notarios and paralegals, they may even be better than a lawyer because they know the filing process. Because as I said earlier, lawyers, we went to law school, but we are very good in the macro managing of the case. We know the strategy of the case. We know the nuances, but filing itself is a nuance that they know what to fill, like asylum, no blank, So a lot of times, even lawyers will file something we assume not applicable. So instead of saying NA, we leave it blank. They'll bounce back after 3 months. I'm like, but you learn from it. You just keep doing it until you get it right.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And that's true. That's very, very true. You cannot miss not even one space because immigration just returned it. Maybe in the past it was not that way, but after the prior administration, it became really tough. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. The next question comes from Alan. He says, "Hello there, Ms. Wong and team. I have a pending VAWA case for over a year, and only yesterday they sent my work permit. My I-485 was filed all together because my ex is a citizen. They also renewed my prima facie for another 6 months. How long more do you think they will leave me on? Again, I'm almost 1.5 years
check
waiting.
your
Yes.
check your work permit when you get it yesterday, because your 45 is filed together with the 360, probably, because there are two ways to do Wawa cases. One is the I-130 45. One is just the 360. One is 360 and 45. There are different ways to file it. You already got the prima facie. They will extend it for another 6 months. Check your work permit. If it's a C9, it came from your work permit, that should be good for 2 years. It could be a C14, that's good for 4 years, and it's pending on prima facie. Now, on the other hand, I don't mean to be rude. When you say they'll also renew my prima facie, congratulations. How long more do you think they'll lead me on? Who is leading you on? The government of America is leading you on, or your wife is leading you on? The government right now is really, really slow. The fact that you already got your work permit, you got something from the abuse of your spouse, I congratulate you. The government never leads you on. The government's lawyer, we may be slow. The government, I love America. So when you say who's leading you on, and I don't think America is leading you on. Worldwide, none of us are indispensable. None of us are special. So I'm sort of offended when you say the government. Who is leading you on? Your wife? That's your problem. The government, absolutely, they're not leading you on. They're treating everybody the same, including me. So you already got a work permit. You already got, and also you're lucky because Wawa. I know you're unlucky for the abuse, but you're also lucky because it's a Wawa case. And Wawa case is the only case that overcomes perm bar, only case that overcomes illegal entry, because if it's a marriage case, you have to leave and come back. If it's a marriage case, but it's a perm bar, you couldn't even leave and come back. You couldn't even get a work permit. So I think God sometimes give us a gift because we were abused and you married an American citizen or a green card holder. But I absolutely don't think nobody is leading you on. We made the decision to come to America legally or illegally. We made the decision to marry someone who was abusive. We made the decision to file 360 and 45. Why are people leading you on? You are adult. You are making your own decision. And because of what happened to you, God or America is giving you something. I'm sorry, when I hear things, the same with my clients, they'll say, oh, we're so long, Margaret. Why? They don't like me because I'm from the Middle East. They don't like me because I'm from Venezuela. They don't like me because I'm Chinese. Oh, stop. It doesn't matter. America is equal opportunity mean. They're equal opportunity mean to all of us. They don't single out just because I'm Black, I'm Chinese. They drive me crazy too. I can tell you, but nobody's leading on. You made the decision to come to America. You made the decision to marry someone and not to go back home. Just like me, I made my decision to help people. I made my decision to work with people in jail. I just got fired yesterday from a client of mine. Now this morning he called and apologized. He was under stress. I went, "Well, stop. I'm already fired. I'm not going to take you back." I made the decision not to take it on, and then he was complaining his wife. And we are adults. We make decisions. So nobody is leading you on. And congratulations, you're the guy. I'm sorry, Mr. Juan. I don't know what happened to me today, but I just don't want people to think that our government's leading people. Nobody leads us on. We do what we want to do.
Yeah, it's just a matter of delays. We
That's
cannot
right.
forget that we just faced the biggest pandemic
Frustration. Yeah.
in the history. I think only in back in
Yeah.
1920 there was a pandemic that was very very bad, and right now we are just coming to an end of a pandemic, and we are scared because now we're talking about monkeypox, and now we're talking about some other viruses, and we get really scared, and people don't want to get infected. Also, thousands of people don't want to go back to work in place, in the workplace. They want to work from home, and we know there's some distractions at home because you need to cook, you need to take care of your kids, you need to take care of the dog, and whatever stuff you're going to do at home that you cannot do while you are working. And people just got used to it during the pandemic. So we need to be understanding and
You are
just
right.
be patient. And thank you
Yes.
so much, Ms. Wong, for letting us know what you think in these kind of situations. And some people sometimes think that is the attorney office that is not doing what they are needing to do, and they call and they yell, and we just need to let me explain something that is going on there. So thank you so much for all the patience that you have had for these 45 years. This person is sending this message. We have several questions today. I missed my finger notice appointment. um, they said the system says that it was for February 22, 2022, and I never received the letter for the appointment. I filed asylum in November 2021, and I have never received nothing, not even the receipt with the number or nothing. I called, they gave me an A number and receipt number, but have not received nothing at all. I am really concerned about these.
Okay, let me tell you what to do. This is a good case. You already have the receipt number, you have the A number, and also asylum, you don't have to pay a filing fee, which means that even if you don't get it, it's okay, because if you get it, 000. Number one, file the work permit now, but you couldn't do it without a fingerprint notice or a receipt notice. Number two is take the old fingerprint that you never received. I hope now you received it. If not, how did you know about it? I would look stupid. I would go to Immigrant. I don't know where you are, but if you're from Cleveland, fingerprinting notice, Cleveland fingerprint. Oh, you have received. Okay, good, good, good. You have an email. Good job. So take your receipt number, number one, file a work permit, because from 151 days after the receipt notice, you could file a work permit. On the other hand, you did not take fingerprint. Oh, you live in Atlanta. That's a good office, because that's an old office, like Memphis offices, Nashville offices. They're newer, so the offices are new. I would just take the A number and make an info pass appointment and ask them, can you take, but without a fingerprint notice, even a late one, they won't give it to you. I would write them a letter and ask them and send them an email. But more important than fingerprint, I would apply for the first work permit. You file that by doing the 765 form. You can do it on the internet. I would like you to print it out, fill it in, attach the receipt number, because you have an affirmative filing. Because if you have a defensive filing, you would not have gotten that receipt. So I'm pretty sure you're affirmative filing. I would file the 765 with it and see if they give you a work permit, because you filed in November, receipt probably came in December or January. Now it's August, so 151 day pass. I would file that work permit now. I would also keep writing that letters. And better yet, and they do read those letters. Atlanta's a pretty good office, because Atlanta used to go through Virginia circuit wide. But I would, and also send them email with that receipt. Open your own My account. Go in there and tell them, I called, you told me there's a fingerprint notice. I never received my fingerprint notice. And also check with your lawyer or your paralegal to see if they got it and you did not. Sometimes we get it, my clients didn't get it. Sometimes client get it and we didn't get it. So double check with them because sometimes immigration miss it, but definitely file that work permit. Oh, that's fine. Over the email, just show them the email. So okay, print out your email,
Okay.
which means that you probably already have my account. Good job.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Yes, sometimes people just get scared because they don't get the information or they are not notified correctly of something. Thank you so much. Don't forget that the phone number of Ms. Wong is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Olufemi is sending this question. I went to an interview, change of status. I was told I would be called back by the interview. It's been 3 months and I'm yet to hear from them.
I'm sorry about that. Sometimes they tell you things, they forget, you forget. I don't know what your that's an adjustment of status. Are you applying for citizenship? Are you applying for green card? So, and during the interview, what happened? Sometimes they know they're granted, so they assume the fingerprint cleared, and you hear from them. Other times, they know they're going to issue RFV or NOID. I won't take what they tell you seriously. If you have a lawyer, I would call the lawyer because if the lawyer was sitting next to you, they know I know exactly what they're going to do right after the interview. But some lawyers don't like to tell you because they could be wrong. But I would not pay that attention. I would wait a little bit, if not just email and call them. But it depends on what happened at the interview. It depends on what you're getting. If you're getting citizenship, it's different from you're getting a green card or asylum or something, right?
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And I will try to go really fast in the last two questions. This question is, hi, how are you? How much time does it take for EU visa?
9 months to 1.5 years.
Okay, that's for the C14 work permit.
So 4 years, right?
Dalitso David Mwansa, if you are on a work visa here and legal, can you invite someone to visit you in the United States?
If you're doing Ukrainian, yes, the I-134 could be signed by anybody legally, illegally, no problem. Actually, yes, because you're inviting someone to come to America on a holiday. The form is I-134. Personally, since I only have my work permit, I would be very careful because who knows what immigration does, because whatever utterance you make, potentially there's a misutterance, because 6C means material misrepresentation. So for example, you invite a friend over, it turns out as a girlfriend, you're going to marry her and add her into your asylum, but you wrote the letter saying that I would like you to visit. Immigration may interpret that as a fraud situation because you don't have a work permit. Normally, when people don't have a green card yet, I always tell them, try to eliminate inviting people, being foster family, or doing stuff without the permission of a lawyer, especially something like that. But on the other hand, they don't need it. If they're only coming on a tourist visa, what you're asking is, can I do a letter or can I do an I-134? You could, but on the letter, how am I going to say it? Especially if they are from the Central America countries. Then depends on the relationship. Maybe they can go into camp and get a parole visa. But the answer is yes, you could. But the question is it necessary? Do you have to do it? Do you have to? If you don't, I don't recommend it.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Yeah, this is a tricky situation that could be interesting or could be a highlight for immigration in order to your case. And some people, Ms. Wong, in my case, from my country, some people come just to visit the United States of America, and they then end up staying here, not going back. So immigration somehow could blame it on the person who invited the other one, or
No,
they want
that's what I mean. That's why invitation itself is not legal. If I sponsor someone for a green card, that's an X64, that's a 10-year legal obligation. The government can sue me or divorce lawyer can sue me. That's an 864. If you only sign a non-immigrant visa interview, or if you only sign for them to come, that's an I-134. There's no legal obligation.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And the last question is, my work visa was approved, and my wife is here with me on her visa, but I see that she is not allowed to work. Is there a way that she could work?
It depends on what visa you can apply for her. She can change to a student visa. 1 year after going to the same school, 1 year after the same program, you can apply for a work permit. That's a student visa work permit. You can file for asylum, then 151 days after the day of the receipt, you can file. Actually, under Trump, it's 1 year later, but under Biden, it came back 151 days. You can apply for a C8 work permit good for 2 years. So it depends on what visa, but on a tourist visa, she cannot work.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Our time is up for today. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. We are looking forward to see you next week here in the city of Atlanta. And yeah, of course, I learned a lot of things today from you, and I am always there with you with the answers, even when you are straightforward with one answer. I really like that because what we need in this world is honesty. That's a value that we need to keep in this world now in the century 2021. And it's already 22 years of this century, and the war is going crazy everywhere. So thank you so much for keeping your principles and your values for everything you do. Thank you so much. And for everybody who has joined us today, thank you for sending your questions and for joining us today. The attorney Margaret W. Wong will be in the city of Atlanta next week. And also, she is taking care of any request that you can have over the phone in any city of the United States or even abroad. You can call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Attorney Margaret W. Wong with over 45 years of experience. Thank you so much and see you next time.